Okay, so I mentioned adding a couple of ribs. I'm assuming because this is quite a long piece of plastic, most of these parts have a couple of ribs under here. Just add those in, that's really easy and quick. Just going to draw a cross section. Perhaps don't even need to be as large as I'm doing them here. So just drawing some curves, I'm going to pick the edit points, move them in a little bit more, angle this up just a touch. Put a small radius on this bottom edge here. It's too big. Right click to repeat. 1 on the keyboard. And they are around about in line with this hole we've made. Extrude. Curve. B on the keyboard to turn off both directions. 2 mil. Going to cap it. That's really basically all there is to that. It's perhaps a little bit longer though. Transform scale 1D. Something like that. Going to pick our curves, so edit, select curves. Put them on the curves layer. Picking this object, I'm going to mirror it about 0. Picking both of those, right click to repeat the mirror command, 0 again over here. Hoping this will be a simple Boolean tool now. So you're using the Boolean command. That just chops in all that geometry. Boolean command is pretty much the same as me manually doing split and split and then join. Kind of skips out all those commands. So I've got a couple of ribs going on. And now, as I mentioned, I want to see if there are any holes in my geometry. I don't mean holes like this one, I mean edges that are not joined up properly. So I'm going to pick the object, analyze, edge tools, show edges. So I got this little dialog box here. It should have naked edges selected. Sometimes the other ones get selected, and you can see already we've got some pink edges showing up, which means there are some naked edges going on. Basically, it means to the eye those edges are together, but as far as mathematically in the computer, these edges are not joined. So analyze, edge tools, join 2 naked edges. I'm just going to pick the edges and fix them. This basically means you'll be able to print this now with the 3D printer. Just go around fixing the edges. So I am right clicking to repeat the command. Click on one edge, right click, click on the other edge, right click. Get a dot right there. There's a little bit more missing there. Oops. Okay, that's possibly some bad geometry. So what I actually think I'll do here is, instead of trying to force the computer to fix that, I'm actually going to rebuild this edge. Let's just double check there are none inside. So analyze, edge tools, show edges. Okay, there are none on the inside, so it's just that one edge. So I'm going to turn off the Analyze Edge tool, explode, and I'm going to delete. I'm going to join this and hide it for starters. Then we're going to do a 2-rail sweep, which is here. Actually, let's just make this a little bit more refined. So I'm going to undo our hide and duplicate this edge. And that will help me run a surface properly. Then we can hide this again. Now we do our 2-rail sweep. 1, 2 for the rails. Pick the end there. Pick this new curve you've just done. pick the two edges, pick the end of that all the way down here to this one. Okay, I'm not super keen on this already, so I'm going to delete it. These are not very good surfaces. So I'll undo my delete real quick. You see these ISO palms are all starting to go kind of bendy and weird. And this one's actually got two surfaces already. Because there's a, if I explode this, it's made two separate surfaces. This is really bad surfacing. So I'm going to undo. Undo, we don't want either of them. First thing I want to do is rebuild this curve. That's what was creating two surfaces. We'll keep the point counts and the degree the same. But we'll just basically make it better geometry. Then I'm going to create another set of curves on this surface. So I'm using a polyline here. And a polyline in this plane. And what we're going to do is project these curves this curve and this curve onto these surfaces. And then we're going to do a curve, blend curve between this one and this one. And this one, oops, right click. I pressed escape to kill the command there, so right click to repeat it. I actually want to get rid of this surface too. Okay, so we've got some curves we can work with. Actually, one moment. We want the curves I've just manually built. We don't want these curves that are on this surface because they won't be very good. So deleting those away, I'm going to rebuild those in a minute. Okay, curve, blend curve. I want to be able to control the curves I'm doing. And those ones I've just deleted would have been projection curves, which might have multiple edit points and won't do me any favors when I'm building my curves later on. Okay, so we've got those curves projected. Now I want to do the same in this plane. So I'm going to project this one and this one. Right click onto these surfaces. And once more, curves, blend curve, quick blend curve, this one and this one. And these two. Now we can rebuild all these curves. So back to our two rail sweep. This edge and this edge, but now we've got all these cross-section curves. We should get some reasonable surfaces going on. Okay, there's quite a lot of ISO palms, but they're even, so I'm fine with that. Starts to accelerate there. Not so pretty, but should be fine. Right click to repeat the command. Same around this edge. Actually missed one there. Okay, edit, select curves. I'm going to hide all them. Control A, join. Analyze edge tools, show edges. Okay, we still have some. We should be able to join these relatively well now. Okay, so now we don't have the little pink dot on the end. Joining all these edges together. And we do have one pink dot. If it's just a dot, it's not actually a problem. As long as it's not an edge, which it's not. Okay, so that piece now is joined together and should 3D print. So next lesson we'll start to do the main toolbox.